The synthetic reed is essentially plastic, but there's a few different things that we need to discuss with them. How to adjust them, and what's different about these compared to the cane reeds, which are a little bit more natural and give more of a harmonious sound. The synthetic reeds come in a variety of different brands, and they all have different characteristics about how to adjust them. This one is the Easy Drone reed. There's a reason why they call it easy. The Easy Drone reed pitch can be adjusted by turning the tuning screw, that's this black knob here, turning it this way to come out or turning it this way to go in. Flat or sharp, you pick. The black part here, this little black rubber band is called the bridle, and that's going to adjust the length of the tongue here, this little plastic part where the air goes through. And that's going to make it harder or easier depending on which way you move the bridle, whether it's down the reed this way or back up the reed this way. Either way, you want it adjusted just enough so that it is comfortable for you. The other synthetic reed I want to mention is the Canard regular reed. There is the Evolution reed where this part is more of ice cream cone shape. The bridle on this one is a little bit thicker, but it performs the same function. Going up or down will make the reed take in a little less air or more air depending on which way you go with the bridle. The tongue is going to vibrate the same way, and if you want to change the pitch of the reed, you have to take off the black part, just unscrew it, it's simple. And then inside is a little screw that you'll have to use a really tiny Allen key, I mean like really tiny. Screw it around, sharper or flatter, and then put the bit back into the reed, ensuring that the flat part here is flush. And then the next reed that we want to look at is the cane reed. The cane reed is going to give you a more harmonious sound, as I mentioned at the beginning, but let's see how to adjust it. The cane reed does not have a plastic tongue. It has a cane tongue. It's harder to see on this one because it'll blend right in with the rest of the reed. But you can see that there is a black bridle here. It will perform the same thing as with the synthetic reeds. But there's a few things you need to remember with the cane reeds. Unlike synthetic reeds, these things thrive with moisture. So I suggest that when you go put these into your drones, that you do not blow the pipes full blast. Your neighbors will also thank you. With this, when you put it into the pipes, you need to blow your pipes at half pressure. That's a very, very important thing, and I highly suggest that you keep it that way, at least for the first 3 to 5 minutes. In that time frame, this reed will be able to absorb moisture, and in turn, the tongue of the reed will become more pliable and it will be able to vibrate more fully. If you don't do that, the reed is more likely to turn off and not work properly for you, aka a headache. One way to get this tongue of the reed to open up, because right now it's going to be kind of hard, is with this. A paper clip. Now this paper clip, as you can see, is not in the shape of a regular paper clip. There's no sense of putting paper in this thing. It has been bent into a shape kind of like a fish hook. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to take the open end of the reed here, you're going to take the paper clip, and you're going to take the fish hook part, and you're going to put it into the open end of this. Now, if you're not used to this, it's a little bit more of a tricky process, so if you need practice, I highly encourage you to do so. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the fish hook, you're going to put it into that end of the reed, and you're going to line the top part of this up with the middle of the drone reed tongue. It's very important. So I can see that right about there is pretty good. I have it lined up, and I'm going to take the part of the paper clip here and I'll put it into the side or into the opening of the reed, and it's lined up pretty well, and I'm going to give it a bit of a push. Now when you do the push of the paper clip into the reed, if it's really not going in, don't force it, because you could crack the opening of the reed, and then the reed is basically toast. So if it's really hard to get that paper clip into the reed, bring it out a little, and narrow down the part of the paper clip that is the hook here. So make the hook a little bit smaller. That's all you got to do. It shouldn't be too hard. So then put the paper clip back into the reed after you've made any necessary adjustments, and then push it in so that you still have a little bit of paper clip left over. And if it's way out here, I think that's a little too much. But push it in until you see the reed tongue start to come out just a little bit. And it may be very, very little that the tongue actually comes out, but you don't need a lot. Because with these cane reeds, the more the tongue comes out, the more air it's going to take up, and you don't need a lot of gap for air to go through the tongue in order for it to work properly. When you have the paper clip in the cane reed, you can change the length of the tongue by moving this up and down, and I wouldn't move it up more than a quarter way, so that's way too much right there. So just enough, and you'll be able to tell if the bridle is at the bottom of the tongue, because you'll be able to see where the tongue actually begins to come out from the reed. So I recommend you put the bridle at the bottom or base of where the tongue starts to come out. And if you need to bring it down a little bit to close the tongue off, not a big deal. But try that out in your bass drum, because this is a bass drum reed. The tenor reeds are going to be about that long. They're going to be noticeably smaller, just like the bass versus the tenor reeds of the synthetics. So that's how you manipulate the reeds for drones. There are other reed brands for synthetics that I haven't gone over. So if you would like to take a look at them, I'll give you some links in the description. And if you have any questions about what I've gone over in this video, please leave them in the comments and I will reply to them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.